Good evening, I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us. We do begin this evening with new information coming out of Piute County. The 17-year-old boy accused of shooting and killing a teen girl in Piute County will be charged as an adult. New court documents shedding light on the events of the night of the killing. The Piute County Sheriff saying the suspect, now identified as Francisco Daniel Aguilar, shot 16-year-old Jacqueline Nunez in the leg as she ran from his car to her friends. We're told he then shot at their car, forcing them to drive away before walking over to the victim and shooting her in the head. Deputies say he admitted to killing Nunez after he was arrested that night. Aguilar facing both murder and attempted murder charges in addition to several others.
Today, friends and family are mourning the loss of an Enoch family, victims of what police say was a murder-suicide.
Their loved ones today sharing what they meant to them. ABC4's Kayla Baggerly was at the funeral and has that.
At the funeral today, friends and family of Tasha Haight, her 5 children, and her mother Gail Earl said that they will be greatly missed and share that they were the kind of people that touched the lives of everyone they met.
Today's a very solemn occasion.
This morning, Tasha Haight, her children, 3 daughters and 2 sons, and her mother Gail Earl were laid to rest in a cemetery in Laverton. At their funeral, over 800 people gathered in their honor, uniting together to grieve their loss and remember them.
But it's a place of healing, a place of hope.
January 4th, police say Tasha, her children, and Earl were victims of an apparent murder-suicide when they say Michael Haight, the father of the family, shot and killed them before turning the gun on himself.
Certainly there's a story of 2 families hurt and broken through an unthinkable tragedy.
The ceremony was filled with flowers, touching musical numbers, and loved ones who shared their favorite memories of them. Saying of Tasha Haight and Gail Earl, their greatest joy in life was family. Tasha was described as an incredible mother who would do anything for her children and the kind of person that was always willing to help others. Gail Earl was remembered for her kindness and faith, and the Haight children are said to be loving and a blessing to everyone who knew them.
Clearly we see a great tragedy here. However, only a tender and merciful and loving Heavenly Father and God can take this tragedy that has touched us so deeply and reach deep inside each of us and turn it into a miracle of healing, growth.
Families shared that their faith has helped them through this, and they're grateful for all the prayers and the outpouring of love that they've received from the community. Reporting from Laverton, Kayla Baggerly, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Kayla. Take a look at this giant snowplower tidying up the road on Skyline Drive in south central Utah. UDOT posted this video to social media. Skyline Drive is a long scenic dirt road that climbs the Wasatch Plateau. It's closed this time of year for most drivers. My question, how do I get that over to my house?
Yeah, and that thing isn't moving very fast because there is so much snow.
I love that it says it's closed for drivers. Yeah, you won't catch me on that road.
Go ahead and try, right?
We've got more snow on the way, not just for that area. Actually, our next storm system getting ready to impact us. But today, it's been about high pressure. We do have cloud cover out there. Our satellite shows that area of high pressure and the deck of clouds that's come streaming in. But there's our moisture source. As we step back just a little bit and look towards the west, we know that we've got wet weather on the way for a holiday weekend, and as a result, we get new winter alerts posted. They're for our mountains and our mountain valleys. That wet weather on the move, so we've got to be ready for it as it rolls in. But right now, it's all about mild temperatures. We've been running about 10 degrees above the norm. Many locations, lower valleys, seeing some of that snow melt off as we sit in the 40s. Cold in Logan, 29 degrees. They stayed below freezing. They're a little inverted there with some fresh snow on the ground and some haze towards the mountains. 55 in St. George. Dry conditions are out there, but that's going to change, yes, for St. George as well. As we talk about the Wellsville there, you can see the mountains with snow on them, but there's that layer of haze that I'm talking about. And the cloud cover moving in and blanketing us just a little bit will keep some milder temperatures as we head into the overnight. So the systems coming in, air quality is a bit of a concern, not just in Cache Valley, but also Uinta and Duchesne counties. Those are the spots with elevated particulate matter. Now, with a storm on the horizon for tomorrow, you would think clean air for tomorrow. Not the case. I'll explain why and the timing of that wet weather coming up in my full forecast in just a few moments. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
Alana, thank you. 2 kids hit by a truck this morning walking to school in Salt Lake City. This all happening near 1700 South and 700 East. The kids were hit by a truck while crossing the street with the help of a crossing guard. Police say the children were treated for non-life-threatening injuries and taken to the hospital for evaluation. The driver, we're told, is cooperating with the investigation, but police reminding drivers tonight to stay alert, especially in school zones.
And overnight, police shot a wanted man on the run in Salt Lake City. It happened in a neighborhood just east of the Salt Lake airport. Police say early this morning they tried to pull over a car with a man wanted for a violent crime, but the driver allegedly didn't stop. They say the suspect eventually crashed into a parked car in the neighborhood. They say he got out and ran towards a house, and that's when 3 officers shot at him.
Immediately after that crash, the suspect got out of the car and ran towards a home. At that point, we can confirm that 3 Salt Lake City police officers fired their weapons, resulting in the suspect being critically injured.
Now, the 3 officers who shot are on paid administrative leave per protocol. The suspect's name has not yet been released.
Protests across the country today for Lieutenant Ridge Alconis, a Navy lieutenant with Utah ties, serving time in a Japanese prison. People right here in Utah gathering in the state capitol saying his prison sentence was unjustified.
Bring Ridge home! Bring Ridge home! Bring Ridge home! Bring Ridge home!
Lieutenant Alconis was sentenced in October to 3 years in prison for negligent driving after an accident claimed the lives of 2 people and injured a third. Family members, some U.S. lawmakers, and these protesters argue he was treated too harshly considering the circumstances. Some who know him say he would not intentionally cause harm.
There's no one who has a greater, deeper character than Ridge Alconis. I have witnessed that as I've served with him. He was under my direction as a missionary. I've watched it the way he has raised his family, and I've watched it the way he has served his country.
Lieutenant Alconis benefits are now being paid to him and his family thanks to an amendment sponsored by Utah Senator Mike Lee.
Behind the Badge, brought to you by Big O Tires, the team you trust.
With 2 recent tragedies in rural Utah towns, a family murdered in Enoch, Utah, and a teenager shot and killed in Paiute County, we're taking a look at what it takes to be a police chief in a small town.
ABC4's Brian Carlson taking us there in this evening's Behind the Badge report.
Passing through Mount Pleasant in central Utah, you may find yourself talking to the town's longtime police chief.
That's the funny part. People think they can come down here and hide, but it's really...
Mount Pleasant Chief Jim Wilberg has been on the job for 20 years. He's not a guy who spends much time in the office.
I still work patrol. I cover vacation, sick time. You know, I'm out with my guys all the time.
And it's clear they love working for him.
He enables you to be the cop you want to be.
Counting himself and his secretary, Mount Pleasant PD has just 6 employees. But from time to time, his small department handles some pretty big cases. Back in 1945, the town marshal was shot and killed by a man who claimed to be the Sundance Kid.
He was taking him out to his car, he was arresting him, and he got free and shot him, escaped.
They had their own modern version of the Hollywood crime couple Bonnie and Clyde, who went on a murderous crime spree. In 2011, a man shot and killed an elderly couple in Mount Pleasant, and then he and his girlfriend went on the run, committing another shooting, carjacking, and high-speed chase, crisscrossing state lines.
It made a lot of people nervous. I mean, we're trying to deal with that, and then we get people calling. I think those people are in my house. You know, we're trying to deal with that scene. We got multiple calls. We're still answering.
Chief Wilberg admits most days his city is much calmer. And it's that quiet life that keeps him here.
Back to you.
All right, thank you, Brian. If you're looking for a way to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, maybe attend the March and Rally held by the University of Utah. So before marching from East High School to the U, people are meeting at East High to see musical performances and hear local leaders speak. We spoke with someone from Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion at the U about the importance of this march.
We have enough sort of like rhetoric and kind of like language, but what we need to do is to come together as a community to embrace these principles that Dr. King so lovingly and wonderfully exemplified.
If you want to join in celebrating Martin Luther King's legacy, that rally starts at 2:30 on Monday.
Still ahead, the Trump Organization fined for tax fraud. how long prosecutors say the scheme lasted.
Also coming up tonight at 6, local officials working with the FBI want you to know about sextortion and how your children could be in danger by the people they meet online. See how you can keep your kids safe in life. We'll be right back.
And cloud cover has made it over to the eastern side of the state. Gorgeous shot from the Red Cliffs Lodge. Temperatures in the upper 30s in the Moab area. We've got wet weather moving in and different portions of the state looking at rain and the potential for snow. We'll break it all down in Utah's most accurate forecast.